It is 2022 and Happy New Year to all my brighter financial future subscribers and new people to the channel. Hopefully, you're having a great year and your 2020 investments was great as well. If you're new in investing, welcome as well. In today's video, I'm going to talk about the top 2021 investment sectors from last year. So we're going to review what sectors were hot, what sectors didn't do so well, all in this video. But before we get started, if you're brand new, make sure you hit that subscribe button. It really helps out the channel. We're really trying to get to that 1,000 mark before the summertime. We're halfway there. We just need a couple more subs just to kind of push us over the top. And if there's topics you want me to talk about, let me know in the comment sections below. And don't forget to smash the like button because it puts a smile on my face and hopefully your face, and it costs you absolutely nothing. It is totally free. So let's jump into today's video. All right. So the first sector in this list is utilities. Year to date, utilities are up 13.99%. In the past 5 years, it's up 47.35%. So utilities didn't do too shabby. It did decent. Now, if you're wondering what are utilities, it's basically electricity, natural gas, and water. Now, some of the companies that fall into the utilities category are Duke, Southern, and PPL. I actually own two of these companies, Southern and PPL, but these are companies in the utility space. So we're just kind of wondering, basically, we own stocks, it's going to fall into one of these categories I'm going to mention today. All right. And actually, I am looking more towards getting more into water this year as far as water stocks. All right. Next up on the list is consumer staples. Now, consumer staples are up 15.55% year to date. If you look at the 5-year chart, it's up 51.3%. So companies that provide goods and services that people use on a daily basis, like food, clothing, and other personal products, that's going to be considered consumer staples. So in investment stocks like that, they're typically fall into consumer staples. Some of the big ones are Coca-Cola, General Mills, Clorox, and Procter and Gamble. So to give you kind of an example of what are consumer staples. All right. Next up on the list is industrials. Industrials are up year to date 19.4%. And for the 5-year mark, they're up 66.33%. Now, companies that make or sell machinery, equipment, or supplies used in manufacturing and construction, those companies are going to fall into industrials, such as when you look at the aerospace and defense, air, freight, and logistic, waste management. And the companies that are going to fall into this sector will be like your waste management, your FedEx, and your 3M. So basically, all the companies in this particular category um, as a whole are up 19.4% year to date. So that's what we're looking at here. So we already invest in like an ETF or index fund, and you just don't want to pick any particular company, you can actually invest in a particular category as well. All right, so next up on the list is consumer discretionaries. Year to date is up 23.66%, and the 5-year mark is up 148%. So these are the companies that are the goods and services to customers. Some examples will be Home Depot, McDonald's, and Nike. Now, just because they fall into a particular category, they can have a mix of different things when it comes to that particular stock. Like a lot of people feel like McDonald's is more of a real estate company, even though it falls under consumer discretionary category. All right, so next up on the list is healthcare. Year to date, it's up 24%. Some of those in the 5-year mark is up 106%. So when you look at the healthcare industry, it's business that provide medical services, manufacturing medical equipment, or drugs, provide medical insurance. Basically, that's like the gist of healthcare, right? A better example are some of the companies that fall into the healthcare space. and that's Pfizer, Johnson& Johnson, and yes, CVS, because they have their healthcare section. So these are companies that fall into healthcare when it comes to the market. All right, next up on the list that did pretty good is materials. This is another sector I'm going to look more into when investing this year. Year to date, the sector's up 25%. The 5-year mark is 82.48%. And the reason why I'm giving the 5-year mark, because just because it was up this year, but you really got the overall where is that, I would kind of get a better idea. Because every year it could be a different sector, but as a whole, long term, where is it at, right? So companies that manufacture, mine, and produce the core materials that make up production, possibly worldwide, fall into the material space. So basically, we're looking at companies like um, B, United Steels Corp, um, Lundell, Basil, and Cleveland Cliffs. So those are some examples of actually what I meant to say was starting with not B, but United Steel Corp, Lundell, Basil Industries, and Cleveland Cliffs. So those some of the material companies in this space. All right, next up is financials. Basically, financials, right? Just like the name suggests, you're going to get companies like Citigroup, Wells Fargo, BlackRock, even PayPal. Um, Basically, anything in the financials, that's what that is, right? So year to date, it's up a whopping 32%, which is actually more than the S&P 500. In the 5 years, it's up 68%. So just to be aware of that. All right. So next up, we have information technology. Year to date is up 33%. 5 years, 278%. So it's definitely killing it. Companies that deal, basically, these companies are companies that deal with a broad swath of information technology needs. They create custom computer programming, integrated hardware and software, and in communication. Some of the big players in the space is Apple, Microsoft, and Amazon. Um, so that's when you're looking into information technology. These are some of the companies that you're looking at. Definitely a sector that I love and I'm looking more into in the future. All right. Next on the list is real estate. Real estate year to date is up 42.5%. 5 years, about 70.71%. These are the companies that are going to be your Realty Income, American Tower, and AGNC. AGNC is actually a company that I own, which you can watch one of my videos about it on my channel. All right. The top industry that made the most money last year was energy. Year to date in 2021, it was 47.74%. The 5-year mark, you're looking at 23. The 5-year mark is actually negative 23.76%. So you can see, even though it was the best category this year, if you stretch it out long term, energy has not been doing so well. So, what is energy? Isn't energy and utilities exactly the same? No, they are slightly different. So, utility sector include companies involved in the production and distribution of utility services to customers, whereas the energy sector include companies involved in the exploration, management, and production of resources such as water, oil, and electricity. And the big companies in this space is Chevron, or some of the companies in this space is Chevron, Royal Dutch Shell, and BP. So it was definitely interesting to see energy as the top sector. I was expecting to be information technology because of Apple and Microsoft, and they had such a great year in 2021, but it is actually energy, which overall, when you think about it, I'm not really surprised because it's been beaten down so much that I'm pretty sure they had a good bounce up and a rebound um, this past year. So overall, I think it's important to look at the different sectors to kind of decide on which you want to get into this year or the following year. What companies you want to invest in, right? For me, I like to be. a little bit diversified, but also I want to put my money in my core beliefs. But I like to have a little bit of that's one of the reasons why I like investing in like the S&P 500, or for example, Fidelity's FXAIX fund, which I did videos on as well. Because I like to have my money a little bit more diversified, so that way I won't take like a major hit if one of the sectors goes down. Because these sectors can go up or down because people do move their money around. That's why you heard the term like I think it's called like rotation, because people do rotate the money around. So if you're into everything, when a rotation happen, you're still in the game, right? If you're just in like energy and people move their money into real estate, then you're going to take a loss. Or even if you're just in energy and energy goes up, you know, and real estate goes down, you have to know where you're at, right? Like if you call it right, like if you say, hey, you know what, next year or this past year, energy was going to be number one. You went heavy on energy, you would have been you would have done really good. But actually having a piece of everything, I just like to own everything. It helps me sleep better at night. But that's pretty much all, folks. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts below. Which companies did you invest heavy in 2021? And what sector you think it's going to be number one in 2022? Just a disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor. These videos are strictly for entertainment purposes only, and any investment may involve risks, so it's important that you do your own homework. For me, I'm sharing my journey. It's like whenever I do my research, I like to share it with the community to kind of hear people feedbacks and thoughts, and just basically you're like doing your homework when you're doing this, when you're investing. Why not share it with other people as well? All right, folks, here's to a great 2022 and beyond. Have a good one. Peace.